What's happening, y'all? This is Todd Wilson with another episode of Elevate Your Game. Today we have former college player and now the founder and CEO of Beach City Hoops, Mr. AC Carmon. What's up, my brother?
What's going on, man? It's long overdue.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We're here in Las Vegas, actually, for the Pangos All-American Camp. And we got an opportunity to sit down and
Finally get to be on the show, man. I feel important.
man, you was important, man. You were part of this culture, part of this game, man, and your growth over the last few years has been amazing. So we want to tap into that. So we love to start this show with your favorite hoop movie of all time and why.
Space Jam, man. Space Jam.
Why?
Michael Jordan, the greatest of all time. You know what time it is.
Michael Jordan's the greatest of all time?
Ever. Best ever.
Well, I
Best
think LeBron
ever.
James would have something to say
Michael
about that.
Jordan is the best ever.
Why is LeBron not? And he's the leading
That's
scorer.
a whole other argument.
His ability to do multiple things on the
LeBron
court.
is in my top 3.
So he's number 3, because you would have said top 2.
Yeah.
That's very interesting. So Kobe's your number 2?
Jordan, Kobe, Bron. The Holy Trinity.
We'll keep it there. We will get into this later. Because I want to have a full discussion about this.
Man, we'll be sitting here for a minute.
Who's your favorite character in Space Jam that's not Michael Jordan?
My favorite character in Space Jam, I ain't even gonna lie, Bill Murray.
Yeah, I'm about to say Bill
Bill
Murray.
Bill Murray popped up. Nah, but it was so subtle too. It was great how they did like a little build up. Because he was just playing golf with Larry Bird. And he was talking with Mike like he could really play and everything like that. And then just out of nowhere, he shows up and was like literally the spark plug to carry them to the win. It was like
he was talking mess while he was doing it, man. It was like real,
like
pickup
the little
vibes.
movie, man. I was like, oh, Bill crazy. He was fooling. But yeah, Bill Murray, because it was like he had a very brief moment. Well, he had brief moments in the movie, but they were definitely funny and memorable. So I would definitely say Bill Murray.
Facts. Same for me. Same for me. So when did you fall in love with basketball?
Young age. So Pops played ball. So, naturally you gravitate towards it because you seeing it, you watching it and everything like that at a young age. But I think there's a difference from when you fall in love with it and you realize how serious and how the severities of it is. Mm-hmm. I didn't realize that until, I was a high schooler and I was an unsigned senior. And I wasn't sure what my next move was going to be.
Yeah.
And so at that point, I'm in desperation mode. I'm like, I just got to land somewhere. And whoever gets me, they going to get all of me.
Yeah. Type
thing. So that's why I try to express to young guys, take every moment serious. Every time you get on the floor, dive on the floor, play defense, move. Don't be a robot. Make sure you got some creativity with your game as well. All of that is important because, these colleges, they pay attention to all of those type of things. It sounds like a broken record. I get it, but it's for real, man. And especially now with this transfer portal, because if, the transfer portal was booming like how it was when I was in high school, I'd have for sure been in junior college. Ended up landing at a D2, which, at the time, guys went, but it wasn't as normal.
Right.
Oftentimes you only heard Division I, D1 scholarship, but it got to a point for me where it was just like, as long as I land somewhere and school getting paid for, I don't care. I get to play basketball. So, it was just setting ego aside and then just, making it happen wherever I landed.
Yeah, I think it's super important, like you talk about that moment where you realize you take it serious. Building up to that point in your life, you said it was your senior year, what happened in the youth side, right? So you were good enough to play college ball, so that means you were putting the work in. What kind of work were you putting in to even get to where you're at?
I didn't put enough work in.
No, but you put some work in.
I put in some work, but it wasn't all that I could have done.
Yeah.
And, you realize that as you get older, like, dang, I see, what people mean by, work, everyday work on your game in some kind of capacity, even if it's in a small micro moment, because as you get older, you start breaking things up into time, because you realize how valuable it is. When you're young, you don't think about it like that. You think you got forever. but it's really a 4-year window once you in high school.
Yeah.
And every year it condenses. And so you got to make sure that you're doing something, whether it be doing push-ups at home, you know, going outside and just shooting for 20 minutes. Like, you got better just by doing that.
Yeah.
You know, video games will still be there. That's like even now today, I'll go lift weights. It's an hour. I still got the whole rest of the day to do whatever I got to do. It's just, but at a young age, you think you got forever. But, you know, we as adults, we recognize, like, every moment matters. So, like, you know, you as a business owner, as a father, as a husband, you have to make sure that you're making all of these time slots. You have to make sure you're hitting each box,
Right.
and you're taking the time for each of those type of things. And I got to do the same. But a 14 to 18-year-old, they're not going to look at it in the same capacity.
Yeah.
But that just comes with life experience and learning and everything like that. So, you know, kids, listen, them older dudes that's telling you all of this stuff, it's important, man. Like, they ain't just BSing. Like, they're telling you this because they've lived through it. And you know, there's often a disconnect sometimes, because it's like, you know, when somebody that's in their 40s tell you something, or not even 40s, I'll say 40s, 50s, where they're a couple generations away from you, versus somebody who's 5 years older than you telling you, it might register a little bit different, because he's like, dang, I'm going to be right there in a couple of years. Like, you got to think about that.
No, that's great advice, and that you lived through it, and
Right.
that's what you like. You are giving this information because it impacted you even. So
In a real way.
I'm sure you had those dreams. So you grew up in Long Beach.
Yes, sir.
And so did you do AAU? What was your experience like just growing up in basketball in Long Beach?
So, Long Beach didn't really have a set AAU program. We kind of had to branch out. I played for a couple teams. I played for Double Pump when I was going into my 11th grade year. Played for Cal Supreme going into my 12th grade year. Then as an unsigned senior, played for a couple, you know, local programs just to, you know, stay visible, stay everything like that. OC Pride, Team LA with my boy, Coach DeMassa. His son is the head coach at Narbonne. His name is
Okay.
Kumase. You
Yeah,
know
yeah.
about him,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. His pops, he had a team. We played like 2 more tournaments. It was just, you know, just go out there and hoop. Like,
Right.
it wasn't a bunch of circuits flying around. It was just, you know, tournaments, local. This is when tournaments was still going on at Dominguez Hills and at Cabrillo and everything like that.
Yeah.
Long time ago. I'm a dinosaur in this
You are
thing.
not that old, bro. We've had some the super OGs on. You an OG now. You getting there.
I
but you
mean,
ain't that
I'm
old.
14 years removed from it. That's pretty
That's
old.
not a lot, man. We had Keon on here, Ghetto Bird. Dog. We had some. Those the OGs.
They old as hell.
Yeah.
I'm old. They old as hell. You know what I mean?
No, for sure. And so your dad played. Is he the one who kind of like? I don't know if you had a trainer, development. So how did you
Nah,
develop
none of
your
that.
game? Yeah.
Well, that's what's funny is that I didn't have no trainer or nothing like that. I would say my dad and my uncle were the closest thing I would have to a trainer, just working out with them, you know, doing drills and everything like that. We had a lot of, you know, back and forths, a lot of headbutting and collisions and stuff. But as I got older and I talk with him about it even now, I understood it was you're being hard on me because you understand how severe this is, and you know how difficult it gets as you get older, and how that window just genuinely closes. And it's okay because, you know, as an adult, I know how to digest it, and I know how to, you know, process that kind of stuff. As a teenager, it's not going to be the same. Because, you know, you still getting older, you get distracted, you got high school, you think about girls, like all kinds of, you know, little things like that that might, you know, conflict with the path and everything like that.
Yeah.
You know, it tends to happen. I tell kids even today, like, you know, stay focused, keep the main thing the main thing. But, you know, as far as like training and everything, it was pops and uncle.
Yeah.
So the way to get better, go play against older dudes.
Yeah.
That's really it.
Right.
I think that's a missing component nowadays is that kids don't know how to get beat up. They low-key punks. Like, all they do is work out in the training gym. I mean, all they work out is in the gym under this creative space. It's different when you can get your ass whooped playing at a park against some dudes you don't know. Like,
Yeah.
even
That's a toughness.
even if it's with people that's still good because they ain't gonna let no harm come before you or anything like that. And I'm not gonna sit here and act like I only went to gyms where I can get into fights and everything.
Right.
But it's different when the atmosphere isn't controlled. Cause it's like, okay, only thing you got here is just your game. Like, they gonna respect you for what you do on the court, and you just got to make it work out of that. So I think that kids need to stop overloading on training because half these damn trainers don't even be showing them the real stuff that they need on oftentimes. I'm like, okay, you can show them a bunch of drills, but how is it applicable?
Yep.
Like, that's like one person told me, it's like, oh, this kid, he should just train. I'm like, that's dumb as hell. Like, how is he going to apply it to a live situation? Like, anybody that knows me knows that I'm going to say playing is the best teacher because you have to interact with other people. You have to make adjustments. You have to, use your brain and think like, okay, if I come off of this screen, I got 2 to 3 options. I can either pull up, I can go downhill, beat the big man, but I got to know that a collapse is possibly coming. I got to make this pass, any of those kind of things. And so you don't get that when you're just training because it's probably just going to be you, the other kid you working out with, or maybe you are fortunate enough to just do one-on-one stuff, but it's just you and one individual. He can't be everywhere on the court.
Right.
It's 9 other people on the basketball court. Somebody sending in to help. Somebody's over here, they're overloading to your side, like all of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
So how are you going to put together what you're learning in training in a live scenario if you're not getting live reps? So
No, I think that's the biggest argument now is like, because some people these kids play too many games when they're talking about AAU and playing. I think it's the amount of games they play in a weekend.
Right.
And I think it's versus playing organized, one called AAU, organized basketball versus just going to go hoop. I think going to go hoop is kind of more what you're talking about, whereas, like you said, not controlled and the variables are focused on you making live decisions versus even if I have a training session and I can go 3-on-3 and I can say, hey, we're going to work on pick and roll and let's make reads out of it, right?
See, that's smooth because there's other bodies on the court. You have to make decisions that are going to apply to a real game. Like, I can do a swing, I can do a cross-court pass, run to the corner, do all this, but like that's not showing somebody's elbowing you or how to push somebody off of a screen for you to get open on a curl or any of those kind of things. Like, so it's the simulations that I think that matter as well, because you're right, like kids do play a lot. There's a lot of tournaments that take place. I think they do need to condense that in some way. But then also on the flip side, I knew some kids growing up that I think that could have did them some justice because they were talented, but they didn't know where to go because as much as it, may be harming, I think it's helping some kids because some kids, it's their escape. Every kid doesn't have a 2-parent household where, mom and dad can take them to the tournament this weekend. Some kids got to ride with their coach. Some kids got to Uber over there. Some kids got to take the bus. Some kids got to see if their teammate can take them because mom's got to go to work. So it might be keeping them out of trouble. It might be their mental escape. So, I see both sides of it. So it really just depends. Like, if you're in a position where you don't got to play as much, consolidate.
Yeah.
Some weekends, don't worry about it. Don't do the access camps and everything like that. There's no need for you.
Right.
But, some kids where, they go to ABC high school where nobody ever comes to their games And so they got to be as visible as possible. It's a different story. So it's a case-by-case thing as far as, who should be playing and who shouldn't. You know what I mean?
I like that. No, I think that's a huge part. I think every player has like a blueprint they should follow based on where they're at, where they're trying to go, and the resources that they have.
Correct.
And so I think that's super important. That's literally what I'm focused on in the next phase of developing things is programs that are individualized, because there is so much access to stuff that we didn't have back in the day, trainers, AAU teams and all that. But how do I navigate that world now? And there's nobody giving anybody the recipe. It's like, no, there's a way you can do this.
Well, that's where guys like yourself,
Yeah.
guys like yourself, guys like me, I don't consider myself a consultant officially.
Yeah, you do it unofficially. You need to do it officially. Stop
Hey
playing.
man, look, I done gave out some great ideas for free, and I just be like, I don't know, I need to make my own basketball firm.
There you go. Hey, come work with the team. Like, we can put this together, brother.
You your own boss. I like being my own boss.
No, you could be a boss. We work together. That's why you see. Listen to that. Listen to the word language. I'm not anybody's boss. I actually hate when people call me
I
boss.
respect that. I respect that.
I work with people.
But you are somebody's boss.
No, I'm not. I ask them. I get upset. Karina, I get upset when somebody calls me boss or manager or something like, no. We work together. I'm a leader, but so are you, because the people, you've been at Core. So the people who work with me at Core, they're in charge of their sport.
You're still, okay, you're absolutely right, but you are still a boss because, just hear me out.
Listen.
You are still a boss because they look to you for the advice. They
leader.
look to you.
Exactly. A leader and a boss are two separate things.
But you still issue out their paychecks. So
but they're putting the work in.
They are putting the work in, but they still look to you for the final yes, no.
All right, let's break this down business-wise. I love this, AC. I love this. Okay, so
talk,
they create their own checks. So the people who work for me are 1099 contractors, which means they own their own business. So if they supply the work that they say they promise, I'm not their boss. They just have to do the work.
This guy's
now,
good.
I do have people who are in salary. And so, yes, quote unquote, I'm their bosses, but it's very, very, very few people. And I also give them the leadership mantle, because I don't like bosses. Because I grew up with bosses.
This is the most humble boss.
It's not humility.
It's all good.
He know, because I showed you love, right? When you
did,
know.
you did.
You
were very,
I'll let you run.
I will always say, Ty is the most receptive leader.
I'll take leader.
He's the most receptive leader, because you can you can give him an idea, he'll process it. I like that. Let's go with that. That is the most important thing about that.
Run the show. That's what I'm saying. So
you the PG, you the coach.
I'll take that too. I'll take
coach.
I'll take. Hey,
would you like
come on over to Death Row on the basketball firm? Let's chop it up. Anyways, we'll move on. High school experience, man. Playing basketball in the Los Angeles area is always amazing. You get to play against a lot of talent, saturated. What was it like you coming up in high school? Where'd you go to high school, and what was your experience like?
Long Beach Poly, baby. 1600 Atlantic. But yeah, I played at Long Beach Poly High School under Sharif Matoyer. One thing that I would say Sharif taught me and my closest friends, because we were all teammates together, he told us coming in, he envisioned that we were going to do something big for the program. So it started 2007, freshman year, 2007, 2008. We wasn't even on varsity yet, but he saw the bigger picture. And so, we played a couple of us played JV, some played freshman, and as time progressed, around junior year, that's when, we all were stepping into bigger roles and everything like that. People were starting to see like, hey, they're doing something special. And then my senior year, we were ranked as high as like number 2 in the country.
Dang.
My guy Ryan Anderson, he's the assistant coach at Xavier now. Ryan is actually, I told him, I said, Ryan, you're actually one of the best basketball players that I know, like ever. Because, the dude had I want to say he had over 1,500 points and close to 1,000 rebounds. I think he had 1,500 and 1,000 rebounds. I was like, bro. And he played at Boston College in the ACC and then played at Arizona in the PAC.
Dang.
Rest in peace to the Pac Conference of Champions. But, you know, and then my other friend, he started at USC. It didn't work out in his favor at first. His name's Alexis. He ended up bouncing back to Saddleback Junior College, and he every time we're around a group of people and I'm getting celebrated, he always gives me my flowers because he says AC saved my basketball career because I was at my school, Academy of Art University. I signed out of there off the rip from Poly. Like, that was 25th hour type stuff, but we'll talk about that later. We'll get to that. And I called him. I said, "What you doing?" He was like, "Bro, I'm thinking about just going to school." I said, "Hold on." I called my coach at the time, and I said, "Yo, we need to get him." And I called him. I said, "Hey, would you come here?" He said, You serious?" I was like, "Yes, I need you to come here." Like, what do you mean? He was like, "Yeah, what's up?" He said, "I'm gonna have my coach call you tomorrow, dog. I'm gonna get you a scholarship." He was there.
Wow.
Yeah, I got my boy a scholarship.
That's dope. That's cool.
Like, yeah, to this day, anytime, like, we were at my college graduation party, and he told this in front of everybody. He told my wife this as well. We're like, I want to say the third time that he met her or something like that. He was like, "AC is my brother for life, man. He really saved my college basketball career." And then a couple of my other teammates, my boy Chris Camper ended up being a standout at Long Beach City College, and then he ended up playing at Newberry College and Pacific Union up in Napa. He had a pretty good career. Yeah. My boy Rashawn Prince, big name, young fella at the time, ended up playing at, you know, USC, Long Beach State, Detroit Mercy. Everybody's journey's different. So
but they going to college, man.
They going to college.
That's it. They're college basketball players. You got a stacked team, and what else?
And then the most famous teammate, I had Jordan Bell. You know, Oregon, Golden State Warriors, NBA champ. You know,
I've worked JB out multiple summers.
Oh yeah, because he's been with Chris, right?
Yep.
Yeah,
So,
that's my guy.
Awesome
that's
dude,
my
man.
Another Long Beach guy. But yeah, all credit to Sharif, man, because at a young age when we were freshmen, he held us accountable. He truly showed us how to be disciplined, you know, the importance of, you know, being a presence on the defensive end. And that just carried over to college because it's like, okay, my role at Poly, I was the main guy playing defense.
You play defense? I'm sorry. I'm messing with you. Go ahead. I'm messing with you.
You're not funny.
I know. The people think I am. Thank you, people. Go ahead.
Defensive anchor, we went 31-2. That's all I'm gonna say. 30 wins, you know, top two, as high as top 2 in the country.
You guys win CIF?
Yeah, we won CIF.
Oh, okay.
D1. So there was an open division at the time.
Right.
Like, open came like 2 years later or the next year, I'm not sure. I graduated 2011.
It started in 2013, so 2 years later. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so it was 2 years later. But so that was the highest division. But yeah, we got a lot of wins.
Y'all in CIF and state?
We didn't win state.
Who'd y'all play in state?
We didn't make it to the championship. It was crazy.
Who'd y'all lose to?
We lost to Mater Dei. I was hot.
Who did Mater Dei have at the time?
They had a good team, though.
They always do.
They ended up winning state 4 straight years. So it's not like we lost to some scrubs.
Did Stanley Johnson years?
Stanley wasn't the man yet, but he was on the team.
He was on the team? Okay. Yeah, he's the one.
So it was Stanley, Shaquan Aaron, Caden Reinhardt, Xavier Johnson.
Oh, Lord. Okay.
Jordan Strawberry. Like, they had a good team.
Yeah.
Like, they were good. But I thought we were better. But, I mean, it's just like, it's one of them things where you play a team, best of 7 series or, you know, whatever, like, that be the game that they get. Because I legitimately felt like we were better than they were, but they was hooping that day. I can't even hate on them, though. Yeah. And they were, you know, they was talented guys, so
that's dope.
That's what happened.
No, so, man, that's awesome, man, to get a ring.
You got a section championship.
No. Hey, the Southern California CIF.
Oh, don't get me started. Don't get me started on winning section. Put it like this. Put this into perspective, okay?
Yeah.
When people start talking about high school basketball, and they start talking about these other states and everything like that, I look at them like a lot of y'all wouldn't win section out here.
Right.
So like y'all little crummy state championships over wherever. Nah. That's like, put this in perspective, okay? Evan Mobley never played in a section title game.
That's great. And he had Isaiah.
I think
for
Isaiah played in one.
Okay, but
But
still,
like
yeah.
Evan Mobley, like in his peak years, like, you know, sophomore, junior, senior year, he never played in a section title. That shows you how difficult California is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And they had a squad too.
It was
Christian
good.
Had a squad.
They was good. They were good players. I remember seeing the emergence of them as they just kept getting better. Like,
Yep.
you know, Ray did his thing over there. Now he's at Fresno State.
Yep.
But that just gives you an indication on how difficult it really is out here. So it's like, think about a team like Heritage Christian or Crossroads or something like that. I ask people, I'll be like, what teams in y'all area are like that? To where they're good. They're talented programs, but who's y'all version of that?
Yeah.
I guarantee they can't hold a candle to those kind of teams. They'll go over to another state and win state. You know what I mean? Because it's like, I've seen them go to other tournaments and win out the tournaments against teams from other states. Like, it's the real deal in Cali, man.
Nah, we're the mecca of basketball. I'll continue to say it.
Hey, man.
Anybody want to fight me, we'll fight.
They argue on Twitter so much. This is the camera I'm
That's
looking
you,
at right
yep.
here. Listen, everybody comes out here in the summer to go to Rico's runs, to go to Chris Johnson's runs. They want to train out here. They want to play in the Drew League. I mean, this is a hotbed of high school basketball. Y'all got to stop lying to yourselves on Twitter, man. Like, this is where it's at. There's trainers that have moved here. Mark Edwards. He gonna be mad at me.
No, hey, but it's real.
But it's real. I'm like, Mark,
Yep.
well, you be my boy be loud, talk about Georgia. I'm like, Mark,
You in LA though?
you in the Valley, Mark.
With all our Cali kids.
You be working in the district.
Oh, we posting this today. I'm getting Marco today. Oh, that's
Mark
hilarious.
gonna be hot, but I don't care, man. Mark
All
know
love.
me.
Yeah,
Mark
you
know I love to talk.
The OG Mark, it's all love. But hey,
Oh,
it's the truth.
facts, man. He's
It's
a
the
great
truth.
guy. I love Mark, man. I talk with Mark pretty much often about just little segments and everything, because it's good to talk to, you know, older figures about this kind of stuff. I talk to Mark. I talk to Jay Crow. Every time I talk to Jay Crow, we end up on the phone for about an hour. Yeah. So, like, he's a guy that I would say is definitely like a mentor type, because he has a son who's going through, like,
Yep.
the whole process, and it's beautiful. But the good thing with him is that he's seen this process as a coach, as a trainer, somebody that has worked with the likes of these kind of players. So now you have a player that he's been working with who's also his son. Yeah. So his radar is on a different kind of pace right now. And it's good to hear about it. I talked to Deshaun, Deshaun Bryant. He was on the show as well, head coach at Sage. Mm-hmm. Same with him. Like, every time we be on the phone, it'll be something quick, and then next thing I know, we was on the phone for an hour and a half.
Yep.
Like, wife will come in and be like, "You still on the phone?" I'll be like, "Man, we just started just talking landscapes, ideas, just everything." And it's great to have those kind of guys. Even you, for example, you be busy, but we've often had those conversations too, where we'll talk about one thing, and then it'll just roll over into a whole bunch of other segments and everything. And it's appreciated because, you guys are not only coaches, developers, leaders. You guys are also parents. I recently became a parent, so, I'm speaking to you guys just to get some early insight on how to maneuver and do all of that kind of stuff. So that's important. And so I got mad love for all of the OGs who spend any kind of time. Oh, Keon, that's another one. Like, I'll end up on the phone with him forever as well. So I appreciate all the older cats who just continuously share and
pour back into us, pour back into the community.
Pour the knowledge out. Like, that's needed. Like, listen to your OGs, man. Like that is
Yeah.
so important.
And for you young kids that are listening to this, or the parents of young kids, find you some OGs to listen to, because
Right.
these are the people who aren't very loud. The people you mentioned, Mark's loud on Twitter, but when we're talking about basketball stuff, they're not loud
Oh,
about
my bad.
the
Clint, another one.
Clint as
Clint
well.
Park. Clint is a
Clint,
fool.
get on this
I
show.
love
Get on this
talking
show
to
and
this
stop playing
guy.
game. You were supposed to be my first guest, and you not here.
He
Clint,
can.
calling you out. No, he had the child. He's busy.
He did. He's
and so
very busy.
I'm giving him time, but you still need to be on the show.
Been
I'll
talking to
come
Clint,
to you.
Been talking to Clint a lot too, like all of that stuff. But Clint is closer in my age too,
Right.
so it's good to. But he's older, so you know what I mean. It's good to
Yeah.
still speak with peers, older cats, all of those kind of people, just knowledgeable and notable people within the realm and everything
Yes.
like that. So those
Most
are
of the
things.
guests that we have on this show, I put them here so you can get access to them. So you can have access to their knowledge and the things that they
It's
have.
community.
Because you need it, because there's people out there not telling you the correct information. And so I want you to know the people that I rock with, where I get all my information from. I lean on AC for this social media, video, all that kind of stuff. I lean on AC for years. And I still do. Shoot, I'm still trying to figure stuff out with them. So in that, know the trusted sources that you can have access to. Reach out so we can connect you. This is to the parents of the kids who are going through this, where you feel like you don't know what to do, who to trust. I know who you should trust because they've done it before. So shout out to the OGs, all y'all. We appreciate y'all.
Need more truth tellers in this atmosphere, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. College. So you signed in the 25th hour, you say. Let's talk about that experience.
Man, when I tell you, I went on a visit. I want to say it was July 31st, and then signed August 1st.
Yeah.
That was, whew. So, I finished with Poly. Then it was like, okay, what's going on? This is another thing. Kids, make sure you have a 3.0. That cost me, I ain't gonna lie. It wasn't that I was a bad student. And I'm not going to sit here and tell anybody that, I'm not saying that this is okay. Oftentimes in high school, I ain't really study for tests or anything like that. I just wanted to make sure I did well enough. So I had like a 2.7 or a 2.8, but I was in honors classes. So like at my school, there was different branches. So there was PACE, CIC, I want to say it was Beach, Humanities, and then they had Avid or something, like somewhere in the middle. So like there's like 5 spaces, and I'm in number 2
Gotcha.
with a 2.7. So like a 2.7 there might be like a 3.5 in one of the lower classes. I mean, one of the lower branches, right? But we don't know that colleges ain't looking at the fact that you was in honors class. All they see is the number. So that kind of cost me with certain schools, because it was like, his GPA ain't like that high. So they thinking I'm not a good student. I'm like, oh man. So that was something else that worked against me. So I tell kids, make sure you got a good GPA. And now they got it good, because the SAT really don't even matter anymore, do it? Like they don't have to take it, or
they don't have to take it. Most schools right now aren't even considering it. But if you do have a good SAT score, it works for you.
Just helps
but no,
more in your
that
favor.
GPA I think is more important too, because I think back in the day, meaning the 90s and early 2000s, that people could get you into school even though you didn't have a GPA, where colleges aren't doing that because the level of talent and high level academics have come together now, especially in Southern California with a bunch of kids going to private schools, you have to have a high GPA. And so now you're competing with, I always use Johnny Juzang. Like Johnny Juzang was at Harvard Westlake, and he was good at basketball, and he had a 4.0.
That's
So
crazy.
you can't be at regular public school with a 2.5 and you're just as good as Johnny thinking that you're going to get the same opportunities. No, because your GPA is reflective upon your work ethic. It has nothing to do with how smart you are. It's your work ethic, because
that's
if
what
you
I
communicate
realized.
and you put the effort into your classes, like you said, you wouldn't study for tests. And I was the same way. It was just like,
It's not that I didn't like school. It's just some of the segments they was teaching. I was like, how the hell is this gonna help me keep a job? Like some of the stuff they teach in school is like,
that's a whole nother subject. And
bro, we can go on a crazy tangent with that.
I'm not going to, because I'm very passionate about that whole side of stuff. But The point
You
is
get my
that
point
oh,
though. It's like
100%.
my
No,
interests weren't really like
I'm the opposite. I'm with you. I don't believe in how
certain traditional.
USA traditional school run. If you go
Yeah,
to other countries, so you got to hear. If you go to other countries, it's not like that. You go to
no.
Japan, they don't teach you. They don't give you tests and extra homework until fourth grade. They teach you how to be a good person and how to work hard and how to help you. If you go to Japan, it's one of the
Really?
safest countries in the world. Everyone there is polite and they treat each other the right way. And then they're smart as well. And so if you go to
That
countries
might
like
be why.
Switzerland and Czech Republic, same thing. Kids don't have homework. They don't give homework, and they're the highest level education countries in the world. But we want to copy this old school industrial way of doing academics here in the U.S. because it produces people who work, and so the working class is what makes this country go for the
Correct.
bosses that she was talking about. And so,
Nah, that's real because it's
yeah,
like when I'll actually get to what was
yep,
going on at
yeah,
my
yeah,
other school. So, I know that was something that worked against me as well. But so I end up just playing unsigned, playing a couple of events, and I had a couple of JUCOs reaching out to me. But where I'm from, there was so many dudes that I knew who went to JUCO and just got stuck. I was like, I ain't trying to do that. Like, I wanted to avoid it as much as possible. It's not that I was afraid of the grind and working hard and playing hard and everything. I just didn't want to be around my area.
yep,
You know what I'm saying? Not that it was like just so dangerous or anything like that. It was just, there was guys I knew, it took them 3 years, 4 years to get out of JUCO. Like, I was like, nah, I can't have that happen. Like,
yeah,
no, some dudes, they played a year, end up quitting, going to work, like, their dreams just died. That's, not the same kind of support system. Your village is everything, man. So I end up getting reached out to by this JUCO in Arizona. It's called Arizona Western. It's
yep,
national JUCO.
yep.
Really good program, too. So, they reached out to me. Me and my uncle drove out there, checked it out, middle of nowhere. I was like,
Yeah,
I don't know, but like, what options do I really have? They brought me in, we did a workout. It was kind of hot out there. I didn't even have a great workout, I don't feel like. You know what I'm saying? But, they knew what I was capable of
right.
and everything like that. They even had the paper there. It was like, we ready for you to sign, whoop-de-whoop, all of this. And this was in like, was it in June, right before July? I think it was right before July. And, I talked to my mom and I was like, man, I don't know what to do really. Like, I ain't got too many options. I said, I'm going to just wait though. So I told them I was going to wait. Played a little bit more in July. And I get a call from, this assistant coach. And he said, how you doing? I'm from Academy of Art University. I said, where? Like, who?
Right.
Like, what is that? He said, we're a new program. We're based out of San Francisco. It's an art school, but I'm talking to the assistant. I ain't really feeling it. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, whatever. Like, not thinking much of it. But then the head coach called me. And I remember it vividly. I was sitting on my couch. He was talking to me. He said, I've seen you play. I think you can be a very talented player for us. I want to help you work on your shooting. Because it's like I can make shots, but couldn't really shoot as well. I don't think I had the confidence. I think more so that the confidence wasn't quite there. And so, he was talking to me. He was like, I really think that you could help change this program around. So I'm hearing this. I'm like, okay, he really believed in me. He said, I got a full scholarship for you. I want to have you and your family come on a visit. I'm like, I bet. So we get up there, literally downtown San Francisco. Like, people go there, tourist spot all the time, like everything. So I'm looking around. I'm like, how does this work? They said, so the school is spread out through the entire city. And so I was like, oh, for real? So he's like, yeah, you'll take a bus to, get around and everything like that. They got shuttles, everything to take you from your dorm to your classroom. It was honestly cool in that way. It was different. And so, we went there. I wanted to initially do sports broadcasting. I like to talk about sports, do commentary. I've done live commentary, everything like that before. So, well, my bad. This is down the line.
Yeah.
And so I looked at my mom and my dad. I said, hey, I'm coming here. I'm not gonna be stupid. Like, I'm just gonna sign. And so ended up signing. They said, yeah, so we'll have you back in around like the beginning of September. You'll come back up here for school. And so, yeah, ended up, that's what I mean by 25th hour. I signed in August. I was like, oh, that was a stressful time. My parents was happy and
Got a full ride to hoop.
got a full ride to play ball. And, that's when I got there. It was like, okay, I feel like I'm better than Division II. So I'm gonna just have to show that I'm better. And it was funny because we had like a introduction meeting and everything like that. And Coach kind of threw me in the fire a little bit. He was like, he was introducing everybody and he got to me and he said, this is Alex Carmon. He's a freshman. He's not playing this year, but y'all better buckle up. I was like, and everybody looked. They was like, oh, wow. And I got freshman of the year next year. You feel me?
Hey,
you know what I mean? Like,
so you redshirted?
I had to redshirt because
of academics?
GPA.
No, see, that's
GPA.
I
I wasn't
talk about that and how that prepared you though to get freshman of the year, just being in the system.
Redshirting,
talk about it.
The ultimate cheat code. Yes. You get acclimated with the speed, the strength, all of that. So I had 2 players on my team in college that were top 5 in scoring. So I get to play against them every single day.
Man.
So like, I know that people like to talk about JV in high school. I'm sorry, JV is a joke to me at this point. I'm very vocal about that because it's just like.
I think it depends on the school.
Not even really.
JV at certain schools has developed players, man. But go ahead.
I'm not gonna say they haven't.
I think yes for the majority of schools. I think there's like a 2%, 5%.
So
okay,
98% of it is a joke.
It's not
my bad.
all.
Okay,
right.
98%. That's a high A.
Okay.
Like, you know what I'm saying? That's an A grade.
Okay.
So you're saying an A grade of JV is not worth it. Like, I'm not saying programs don't develop players. They can, but that also depends on the staff, everything. I'm talking about when they go play against the other teams and then you winning by 60.
Got you.
You know what I mean? Like, that's a joke. You know what I mean?
Touche. All right.
However, college redshirting, completely different. Like, that's not like JV or anything like that. These is adults. Like, some of these dudes is going to be 23 years old, everything like that. Like, my older teammates, one of them was like 21, the other was like 21, 22. And, I got to practice against them every day. They're stronger than me. Like, they know how to, use a screen. They're used to the speed. They're used to all of that kind of stuff. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so going up against them, it was like, oh, man. So I got to get stronger. I got to get quicker. I got to do what I got to do or it's going to get tricky. So redshirted. And I remember there was this one game where they lost. And one of my teammates, one of the ones that was top 5 in scoring, he looked at me, he said, I need you out here, bro. I was like, when I heard that, I was like, dang. Because it was tough, man. Like, a lot of people, I won't really tell you, man. When I was at Academy, we was in the trenches for real. Like, because we didn't have a gym to consistently work out in.
Oh, so y'all were gym hopping? And
Dog.
No home court?
No. So, like, we didn't have a consistent place to go and just get shots up or just work on our stuff. Like, and we're in downtown San Francisco. It ain't like there's a 24 or anything like that. So, like, off season with individuals, we would work out at this sports club, like, that was down the block and everything like that. They had a gym that, they worked out a partnership with the program to where we could use it. But we didn't have all access to it. If we had all access to it, that could have definitely helped us a lot more because, you can get shots up. Like, I'm just sitting in my room chilling, not really getting to do anything. My homework's done. I can't go work out. So, like, I have to wait till the next morning to go practice and everything like that. And so where we practiced was Kezar Pavilion. You know where the SF Pro-Am is?
Yeah, yep.
That's where we would practice.
Gotcha,
That's
okay.
where we played. But we're in downtown San Francisco. That's a 20-minute ride to get over there. Uber wasn't a thing yet.
Right.
Like, Uber didn't exist.
Y'all had
Lyft didn't
the train
exist.
up there?
I mean, we didn't really know. And then also we didn't have access to it. Like, there were time slots in which we could go work out and practice and everything like that. So it was hard to really balance that out. So fast forward, all that information you have about me, knowing that I didn't get to shoot before games until it was shoot around.
Man.
And I got freshman of the year.
Right. Yeah.
And I came off the bench. So I was like second in scoring coming off of the bench as a freshman. So when I talk about scoring, I know a little bit of what I'm talking about. I was really getting out the mud. Like, could you imagine you practiced on Friday, you have a morning shoot around at like 9 a.m. Your game isn't until 6 p.m. So from 9 a.m. until about
4:30.
4:35. Well, the girls play right before us, so like maybe 5. That's the next time I got to shoot. Like, I didn't really get to get shots up after practice or, get in early and we didn't have any of that.
Wow.
So I tell people, I was like, yo, I was a bucket. Like, I really had to start, like, when I start compartmentalizing everything and adding some context, I'm like, I think that makes my scoring a little more impressive.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then followed up that year with, unfortunately, it was tough to get wins out of that joint, though, because, we were still a fresh program. So, like, it was tough getting, it was tough getting, like, the recruits to come in. But, man, so much I want to say about that, but I want to keep this a nice podcast.
No, we good. We just talk about your whole college experience. So that next year.
So next year, sophomore year, where I got my buddy to come up there, Alexis Moore. He comes up there. We both do our thing, but still can't get wins. We both jumped up to about 17 a game. Like, and mind you, no gym. Like, nowhere to shoot, nothing. So again, we just getting it out the mud. Ended up not feeling the situation. That's another long story. Ended up transferring to Cal State East Bay.
Okay.
At Cal State East Bay, played for Coach Gus Arginal, great guy. He's now the head coach at San Bernardino. He's had many stops at very successful Division I programs. Now he's back in the D2 game and he's killing it. Nice. He worked with Musselman at Nevada, ended up at Fullerton, and then he ended up with Muss again in Arkansas. So he just got the job. He just got the job at San Bernardino, took him to the Final Four. Like,
nice.
He was doing this thing. Like, San Bernardino was doing good. Like, they went prior, but it's like, first year, new setup, new system, everything like that. And to replicate it, it's like, okay, he's a real deal. Finished at East Bay. Didn't have quite the year that I had hoped for. But during that time, this is before, like, the mental health thing and, like, somewhat depression came in. I didn't know the words to use it, but I think, like, those times were kind of the more darker times for me because I got my year stripped away from me. So it's like I lost out on playing. And so, like, I just was going through a lot of things, like, and people, my mom, my dad, all of them knew, like, they could tell. They were like, it was really bothering me. Then senior year, it didn't go the way that I had hoped for it to go. It wasn't terrible, but I had a higher expectation, and I'll take some responsibility for that. I think because I had that time off, like, my momentum just slowed down, like, it felt unfair, you know what I mean? Because it's like I lost a year, and it was It's messed up. Still ended up scoring over 1,000 points. So I tell people, I'm like, I dropped 1,000 in 3 years. So like I did my job. Like
Right.
I was cooking. You know what I mean? Just wish I could have won some more. Like I would have gladly sacrificed average of 17 a point. I'll take 13 a game to, you know, go to the postseason and compete and everything like that. But you know, it is what it is. I'm proud of what I did, especially for a dude who signed extremely late.
Right.
Like, ain't no telling like what could have been.
No, I applaud you for taking the opportunity. So something similar happened to me. It was more in the beginning of my senior year, and I didn't take the D2 offer because
But
I
that's
had
not as
D1
bad,
talking about
I don't feel like.
No, because I had nobody recruiting me. I was hearing
So you
from
didn't
a
have-
coach. I was hearing from a
Oh,
coach,
got you.
hey, they are asking about you, but they never reached out to me. Where I went to
So you never
Washburn
was
University.
speaking to them like directly.
No, I went to
'Cause
I went to Wichita State's camp, and I was dunking on everybody, and they were
You?
like, I was.
I ain't
So
never seen no videos of you dunking like that.
I had a 45-inch vertical.
45?
I had a 45-inch vertical.
Damn.
Ask about me. Yeah.
I need to see the old clips.
Yeah, no, I had some pretty crazy bounce. So went to Wichita State's camp. All the schools are playing each other, and then the coach is like, hey, they're watching you, keep playing, blah blah blah. And I had a crazy camp. That next week, I went to Washburn, which is a D2 in Topeka, Kansas. The coach was running a camp in Nowhere Land, Kansas, and I was playing against Keith Langford. I went to KU. Keith Langford was working the camp, and me and Keith Langford were going at it, like
that?
back to back. It was crazy until he spun, dunked on everybody, and the game was over. But before that, we were going at it. Dude was like, I need you to come to campus, blah, blah, blah. Went to campus, offered me a scholarship, and my dad was like, no, we have, wait for these D1s. My dad didn't know. I was the first kid in the family who had some real college
Aspirations, yeah.
and so missed that opportunity because then I switched schools a week before the basketball season started. Once again, bad information. And then Washburn just didn't call me. Like it was literally, they set me, I moved there in March. I had an offer at Washburn by, October in Kansas. It was there. It was like, people set me up, they saw me, but I didn't take that. And so that's the part that burns about me, how your missed year, like that burns me probably to this day. It's like, man, and that's why I want to make sure parents have the correct information. Like
They optimize all of their options.
You took that like, hey, I'm here, I'm not gonna miss on this. And your parents probably help guide you to that a little bit, you know what I mean? That support system and them knowing like that's the
And it was a
important
good
part.
school, like, it was a good setup. I loved going to academy. I wish I didn't leave, but I mean, unforeseen circumstance. Cause you gotta think, like, this is the only school that gave me, the only 4-year school who really gave me an opportunity.
Yep.
I made friends there. I was acclimated with the space. Hell, I got a job. Like, so now I gotta quit my job. Like, all of that kind of stuff. I had online classes. My setup was gonna be amazing. And then, life happens. But
Yeah.
I mean, my mom tells me all the time, well, who's to say if you would have stayed at academy, who's to say you would ever thought of BCH?
Right. So yeah, let's talk about that. So transitioning from college and starting BCH.
So I was just going to school at East Bay, and I didn't really have anything set in mind. I'm like, I'm thinking about, all right, I need to start doing this training to possibly go play professionally. But I hadn't played in a year. Like, I know that coming from a D2 trying to go pro is going to be tough. Because it's just like I also didn't have a winning record in college. So it's like, yeah, you put up good numbers, but then they'll try to use that against me to shorten me or whatever. And so, there was this one day I was with my roommate, and we were going to go get some food, and we were just talking because he really liked Ball is Life and everything like that, and all the videos that he saw on there, and he thought it was dope. And he said, I'd be down to go to some of these events and start filming and making our own videos. And it's like a light bulb went off in my head. And I was like, yo, I would kill at that. Because it's just like, there were only so many outlets at the time. So.
What year is this?
2017.
2017.
So this is before like the boom of all these new outlets started happening. And so I said, yo, let's do that. Like, whatever. So first thing I do is I go on, I don't know anything high school basketball besides my old high school. And first thing I do is I just go on Google and I type in like ESPN recruiting website because I still remember that because I was on there before. So I'm like, okay, who's in Northern California? Like I'm just looking up names and everything. And so I see this one kid, his name is Damari Milstead. He goes to Moreau Catholic, which happened to be in Hayward, which was 10 minutes from where I live. I was like, all right, cool. So me and my roommate, his name was Alex Leach. To this day, he could have been co-owner because it was honestly his idea.
Right?
Like he put the idea up there, but he was still trying to play professional baseball and everything. But he looked out so much because there was times he drove us there because he had his car. He had the camera at first, and then I had to end up getting I borrowed one from the department at my school because I'm a multimedia communications major, so like I can use equipment and everything like that. And so I borrowed it, went to the game, started editing, figuring out because I always knew how to edit because I went to academy to do sports communication and sports commentating and broadcasting. So up there, I had to learn how to edit. Funny story about that. I'm gonna pivot back to academy. I'm gonna come right back. So. Did you know I almost flunked out of college for what I do for a living now?
I didn't know that.
Bro, I almost flunked out because I didn't know how to edit.
Wow.
I almost flunked out of academy. And so I have to give a special thanks to my old teacher, Twan Lamb. He talked with the head of my department and he said, all right, Alex, I'm going to have you do like 2 projects a week where you're working on your edits and everything. So then it just goes back to just practicing, just figuring it out. I'm like, wait, this is it? Just editing, moving things around, rearranging it. It wasn't as clean, but I was getting the rhythm of it. It's like just like with hooping, like you start learning moves and everything like that.
Reps.
Reps, exactly. And so, I started turning in my assignments, doing better, everything like that. And then, by the end of the year, I go from a D- to B+ in the class.
Nice.
And he said, Alex, you've made the greatest improvement I think I've ever seen in my class.
MIP, most improved player.
Most improved, man. You know what I mean? So, I got to really thank Twan Lamb. Shout out to him. That was my first semester. So after that, it was light. Like, you know what I mean?
Dope.
So switching back, I knew how to edit. I had made highlight videos of myself from, breaking down the footage I would get from, like Synergy and everything like that. Mm-hmm. And so I took that and started, just now it's about getting the actual files that I shot myself and putting it onto the timeline and rearranging it and making it look clean and, little things like that. And, I was starting to figure things out. There was another kid that I covered who was on Damari's team, Kyrie Walker. Kyrie was a big name kid.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm still talk to Kyrie periodically through the time.
Where's he at? G League or overseas?
He was in Canada. I think it was called Scarborough Stars.
Yeah.
I think Drake wear the jersey. You know what I mean? Because he support Canada basketball to the T. So Kyrie was there last time I saw something. And then there was another kid. His name was Timmy Falls.
Yeah.
He was at Dublin High School. I was a little further, but, I figured it out, finessed, got over there. Timmy, they definitely helped progress, what it was. And so I was still like, kind of like, ooh, do I want to play? But then I was just like, you know what? I think I got a better upside doing this camera stuff. So I remember I called my boy Camp. I said, yo, I'm done, man. This is it. Like, I'm about to go all in on the camera work. And my other buddy, Brandon, he's like, bro, you're going to be successful with that. And so, like, a lot of people didn't understand where I was going with it until some time passed by and they started seeing. They were like, oh, okay, I see what he's trying to do here. Like, I'm trying to shed, some more shine on other players. Because I'm like, you got at the time there was Sharif O'Neal, LaMelo, all of those kind of guys. I'm like, but there are other kids who are good too. So, started gradually just shooting various guys putting it out there, you know, just getting as much content up as possible and just, you know, going all in on, you know, this platform, and, you know, it's been great to me. I love it. I've been to more places. I've met some great people, yourself included, you know.
I was a fan from afar forever. I mean, I think I told you this when I forgot how we get in contact about Cord. Did I reach out or?
Yeah, you had reached out to me, but you had reached out to me before that. I was like, who is this dude? Like,
Yeah, like
you know what I mean? I didn't know you
I
like
just liked
that.
your content. I was like, yo, this is dope, and I like the logo. I was like, okay, this is.
Shout out to Davis, my guy Davis. He was at Academy of Art because I asked him, yo, can you make me a logo? He was like, what you need? I said, you know, something with basketball and like the beach. Because I was like, I didn't really have a name, so I just said, oh, we'll just call it Beach City because I'm from Long Beach, like whatever, you know, but I cover everything. And so he gave me that logo. And everybody had told me, yo, that logo was dope.
Fire.
Like that blue,
The
like
blue,
that,
yeah,
everything is
that was it.
cold.
It was like reminded me of like
it jumps
kind
out
of like
at you.
Carolina, but like not with the man with the black,
it jumped
and
out
then
at you and everything like that.
and it's
so
West
it was
Coast, like
cool.
you could feel it's a Cali logo too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
that
it was
too.
like, man, it stood out to me, and like you're saying, you didn't highlight all the top names. You highlighted everybody.
Well, the funny
man.
thing is, I tried to, but from at an early stage, see, I needed somebody like me to help younger me, which is why I try to help as many of the younger guys that I can, because, you know, everybody, I feel like everybody needs some guidance in some kind of capacity. Hell, I still even need guidance on certain things when it comes to posts and, you know, certain coverage and doing certain videos and everything like that. Yeah, what I'm realizing is that, like, Baller's Life, Overtime, Baller Visions, all of these outlets are putting out the same thing. Why the hell are they going to look at my video? How are they going to see it? You know what I mean? Because it's just like everybody is shining a camera on them.
Yeah.
So I just started focusing towards, you know, guys who were still good, just putting them out there a little bit. And it's way different now. Like, it's so much easier for a camera to follow just a basic player that goes to, you know, I don't know, Van Nuys High School or something like that, you know what I mean? Or to, you know, Lakewood or something like that, or Cabrillo, any of those kind of stuff. There's more opportunity now, which is wonderful. Like, I love seeing that more people can, you know, help create, you know, some buzz for kids. Like, you know what I'm saying? As long as it's, you know, credible and they ain't just lying and just saying they can just do whatever, you know what I mean? Like, you know, you obviously gotta just, you know, be genuine with your perspective on the players and everything like that. And so that's good with that.
When was your big moment with BCH, when it was like, oh, this is legit, you had breakthrough and you were more well known?
Man, I'm trying to think. Is there? I don't know if there was a moment.
I started following you when you had 2,000 followers.
Really?
Yeah. I followed you for a long time.
Oh man.
Yeah, like I'm one of the OGs. Like, that's why I reached out to you, because I knew. So
oh, you saw the whole development.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I'm saying. So there was a moment
crazy.
where
I
you
didn't
went
know that.
from like, oh, he's doing local California stuff, to, oh, he's that dude in California.
You know what? I might say 2018 is when I started branching out more, because then I started working with Baller's Life too, because I've known the owners since I was in high school, because they got their start around the time I was in high school. So, you know, that's when I started going to more events, covering bigger name guys, and you know what I'm saying? It's like they're starting to share the videos and starting to post it and do little things like that. And, you know, I would say 2018 is really when it started, like, really picking up even more. So, you know, and then I started just going to other locations. Like, I was spending my own money flying to Vegas, flew to Oregon, just all kinds of, you know, different spots, just trying to cover, you know, new people and everything. So, funny enough, 2018, I flew to Oregon, and, you know, as soon as I landed there, I had like 3 different people tell me, hey, you got to see this one kid. I was like, all right, I don't know nobody out here, so what I got to lose, whatever. And I filmed him. I was like, damn, he hooping. And so I put the video of him up, you know, it shares. And then I get contacted by this one cat. His name is James Johnson, rest in peace. He's a very, very good guy. He's based in Oregon. So the kid I covered was his godson. And from that, it led to him saying, yo, can you cover my events? I'll fly you up here, I'll set you up, pay you, just cover whoever you see that's doing their thing. Like, bet, for sure. So covered a couple of his events, and then, started working with other outlets and everything like that. And it wasn't around that time till I saw like real business there. I'm like, yo, there's really
Who's the kid in Oregon? I'm sorry.
My bad. My boy Skinny, his name is Jaden Nelson.
Okay.
I think he finished at St. Martin's. He started at Portland State and finished at St. Martin's. He went to South Salem. Everybody, there was like 3 different people that didn't know each other that told me I need to go see him. I was like, okay, I got to make sure I watch this kid at least. And then, so that led to me being able to work with James, and his company was called the Hoop Circuit. So he had me go to Beaverton. He hired me to do some stuff in SoCal and everything like that. So,
you taking the sacrifice, spending your own money, going to these things, opening up doors.
More money.
You had to put the grind in.
Yeah.
You have to put the grind. Like, I think I want, especially in your space, right? People think they could grab a camera and just go.
Nah,
and
it ain't like that.
It took you years. First off, you were trained in this. You almost were defeated in your own space in school by the editing class. Had to figure it out, grind through that, and then figure out how to get places, being in San Francisco with no car, I'm assuming.
No car.
Yeah, no car. Getting to places.
I'm talking, I was really symbolizing the grind. Like, I offered to make a video in exchange for a ride to the BART.
Wow.
I gave somebody a video because they gave me a ride to the BART. Like, that kind of stuff, you know.
Yep.
I remember I had a video in my memories, and I got on BART at like 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning, and I didn't get back on the BART till like 10 at night.
Man.
So I was at this gym all day. So one of the first tournaments I ever covered, I think it was called Matchup City. You ever heard of Team Arsenal?
Yep.
KP?
Yep.
KP, good guy right there, man. He got 2 sons. That's nice. Like, they doing their thing. He let me in the gym, started just shooting. I don't know anything up there. I don't know high school basketball. I know what to look for in basketball, so I'm just filming and going off of that. And it was just learning experience. So that's all that mattered. Because I said once I get back to SoCal, like, I know guys like Dinos. If the Pump Brothers are still doing their stuff. I didn't know they weren't still running a program or running events or anything like that. So that didn't happen. But once I got back to SoCal, it got much easier because I knew more people around here. Yep. So it was easier to maneuver, started talking to folks, getting more contacts, being more visible. The number one thing I tell dudes when they first start, be visible. You're not going to fall into a bunch of paid opportunities immediately. And if you are, great. But don't rush it. Learn how to make your videos, learn how to do uploads, learn how to caption, learn how to do all of that kind of stuff. Like, I'm still learning how to do certain captions for certain stuff and everything like that. Yeah. But don't go into it thinking that you're just going to immediately fall into a bunch of money. Like, there's a process. Like, it took me really 2 years before I started being able to make money. Now it's like I do this for a living, so I don't gotta, you know what I mean?
That's dope.
But
you're doing what you love. You're around hoop all day.
Yeah, I get to be around basketball. I get to meet a bunch of people. Like, I got people that I know in New Jersey and Philly and Texas, all kinds of stuff. Other videographer friends, like, all over the nation. Like, if somebody's going to their state, I'll tell them, like, yo, so-and-so, they need some footage. Like, holla at them. Here go their number, blah, blah, blah. And just, I know people like to call themselves the plug. I like to think of myself as the outlet.
That's who you plug in, too.
You know what I mean?
Like it. I like that. All right, so let's go over this. I'm going to try to keep it structured because we go on forever. I wanted you to give me 3 pros about highlights and just the video culture with basketball specifically. There's people who have highlight films who shouldn't even be playing basketball. And then there's other people who directly that one of your videos helped them get recruited. Talk about what are those pros of this space.
The pros of this space, I would say, that's a good question, honestly. The pros of this space is that you can generate your own buzz. You can put something out there, you know, you can tag people and they can at least see it because it'll pop up in their notifications. They'll be able to watch it. So it's like, you know, there's many a times that kids will tag my account and I'm like, yo, dog, I ain't never seen you hoop. I don't know you. I don't know your character. I don't know nothing. Like, I'll just remove my tag. But if I know about you or, you know, like you my guy's player or something like that, and, you know, it'll help you be visible in any kind of capacity, then, you know, it ain't no thing. Another way, you know, with NIL now, that's a great way for, you know, to help build your brand and, you know, have folks see you as far as, you know, what you can provide. You know, you're building, you know, your own platform. You can showcase your personality and everything. I think the best person, probably the best person that I covered who exemplified personality and talent, Josh Christopher.
Oh yeah,
Josh Christopher, like
cold,
without a doubt. Like there was that one game where he played in his draws.
Wait, what?
I promise the guy, if you go on YouTube, he was a game where he played in his polo shorts. But they was like draws.
Mad tight.
They was super short, like, cause you know he was one of the kids that was wearing the super short shorts. Him, Jalen Green, like all of them cats. They were wearing, you know, the short, and they were like, I think they could have been shorts, but they were just his draw. Like, bro, he's literally playing in his draws. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's just like, you know, we're laughing at it and everything like that, but that's gonna generate buzz because it's just like, yo, he did that and then he played and
he was hooping in his draws. Like he was hooping
in his draws, like little things like that, or you know how he was doing the tucked shorts thing, or you know what I'm saying, or he would play with a lot of energy and everything like that. But every time he stepped on the court, he wanted to let you know, like, you should not be on this court with me.
Yeah, like
you don't belong here with me. So that, and then also it's your own virtual resume in a way. Mm-hmm. So it's like it gives coaches an indication on what you're doing. Coaches, it's great because coaches can literally see you without being there. So it's like, you know, you have a player that you work with and he posts his videos on Twitter. Somebody uploads it. Somebody he uploads it. Somebody retweets it. So your 2,500 followers, somebody you know might be coaching in Rhode Island, Virginia, Florida, might see that video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I retweet it because I possibly made the video. Somebody in Pennsylvania, somebody in Oregon, somebody in Washington, somebody in Nevada, like somebody can see it. And then also it's like, you know, these powerhouse prep schools, they can see it too. Yeah. Like it's your own resume that you create and it's free. It's public. You know what I mean? So it's just those are the biggest things. I would say, like, you're generating your own buzz. You know, it's a big NIL opportunity. And then also you have your own resume and catalog. So, I mean, I know creating your own buzz in the resume can be the same thing, but they're different.
No, they're different.
You know what I mean? Because it's just like,
you broke that down beautifully, I think, for people to understand, because I think your industry is judged a lot. Like, people are out there just trying to get money. And so you're putting,
or just get clout.
And there's the thing, I knew that you knew those pros. You know what I mean? Like, you're a businessman. You're not doing this just because you're out here trying to get money. I've seen you literally turn players down multiple times. Like, I can't make a video of you because you're not good enough at basketball. It's not going to do anything.
That's a nice way of saying how I've said it to some people.
Of course.
I'd be like, oh, you sorry. Like, it ain't worth coming to your game. Like, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I don't even want to take your parents' money. And, like, a lot of people
don't have. If you're not fulfilling one of those things, you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
You're not going to do it.
Well, let me not say you create your own buzz. Buzz can be created out of thin air. So it's like you're a consultant and you have players under, you know, your branch. I could post this on Twitter and start something out of this.
You started, so Core has been around for 10 years now. Mm-hmm. You started working with Core 3 years ago.
Right.
Right? Mm-hmm. that's when we really became popular in basketball. We've been developing some of the top talent in middle school.
So I played a part in court popping off
What?
in
Yes,
the
bro.
media
Why,
space.
why you think I was paying you so much? So, so I was like,
man.
seriously, because you
Bring me
had
back then,
you had all
baby.
the ideas. You have to talk to our creative director, Karina. She can bring you back. Look, she's the boss. No. So, no, but you did because you came up with the ideas. We were doing little highlight videos of kids during core prep runs. You were highlighting each kid, and you started buzz for them, but it started buzz for the program as well. And so I'm a witness. Saw that firsthand that you created those three things for core. You created buzz about the program, created a brand identity of us having the types of players, and in every sport too. You were doing it not just for basketball, for every sport as well. And the last one, a resume, like, hey, this is this is our alumni. This is what we do when we have the core prep
so
classic
like
and all that.
It all works for any party in
Yes.
all the way. So it's like
100%.
you have a whole catalog of players that you worked with. It's like, oh, y'all seeing what so-and-so was doing then? This is what he looked like in 8th grade, TBT.
Yep.
Little something for you to see. Like, before all the glitz and glamour,
Yep.
this is what he was on.
Yeah, no, I got the whole folder. I can't wait for these kids to go to college and to go to the draft.
At least the flutes on them, guru.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So now let's talk about this. What are the cons of the industry? Three cons.
I'd say that it can give a false sense of identity to some kids because, you're getting publicized a lot and you may get complacent. You may think that you're doing enough when no, it's millions of people around the world that want to play basketball just like you do. What are you doing to separate yourself? I think that, the con is that everybody think they're going to get a damn video, and it's like, what is your market share value? Why am I giving you a video? What is it about you that is going to make it so that my page gains more value out of it? At my early stage when I needed content and I didn't really know how to charge or do any of that kind of stuff, it was a little different. But now I understand like the importance of this stuff, and it's just like, yo, you want to get this, like it's one-sided. It's only one-sided as far as how beneficial it truly is. Mm-hmm. So it's like, I'm making you a video, but what is it doing for me? Because you could post that video and then you could delete it in like 2 weeks, and then I'm not gaining anything from the visibility. You can never post it. And then I just spent all that time making that video and doing X, Y, and Z, and it was just like, what was the point of that? What did I really get out of that? You know what I mean? And then the third one, what would I say is the third one?
Talk about from the landscape of videographers coming into the industry. Is there a con to that?
Con? Man, sometimes it can be very time consuming. Depending on what kind of projects you do. Me, I don't like making crazy mixtapes and everything like that. I tell everybody that come to my page, what you see on here, that's what it is. Raw, clean, crisp cut highlights. But, I've been in them stages where I sat at a computer for about 5 hours making one video and everything like that. It is not fun. Like, it is not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So that's why I stopped. But there are people who love to do the super creative, artsy type of thing, which is okay for them, but they're also sacrificing a lot of time too. So, and it's just like, bro, do you really want to be cooped up inside of the house just making videos and everything like that when it's a bunch of stuff going on outside that you could be doing? Like,
some people do, and I think that's an important part of the industry is understanding what kind of media you're going to drop.
Exactly.
Like you said, your purpose in this is one, to get these kids exposure, get that opportunity, and get them out there, and then building your brand as well.
And I also wanted to create more opportunity, which is why I do the events that I do. I only do about, I want to say 4, maybe 5 events, because I think that some of these events is burnt out. They be sorry. Like,
no, your events are
they
tough.
they let anybody just show up in it, and it's just like, yo, he weak. Like, he's not good.
Me and AC have sat on the phone for an hour talking about if we can invite this one kid to an event. It's real. And I appreciate that about you. It's like you really are trying to get a full quality product from.
And that's not to say that the kids don't deserve to play basketball, But you can't pride yourself on saying you have this quality set event when you got a bunch of dun-dun-dun-duns running around up in there. It's like, no, you're dwindling your quality. You're dwindling what you represent.
It's a money grab.
It's a money grab. That's like with the events that I have. Have you ever seen more than 32 people participating?
Never.
Well, actually, last year I had 36.
But
But
it was a good 36.
it was a good 36. Like,
Yeah.
you know, even the lower end players, they solid. Like, they not just sorry. Like,
Right.
he don't look like he don't completely belong. Like, certain atmospheres aren't for everybody. Like, I mean, it happens. You know what I mean? So, but I try to pride myself on attaining the most quality players I can get. And if we won't get the quality, I won't have the event. My friend told me, he said, AC, you lose so much money on basketball events because you care about basketball too much.
Hey, that's a good.
And when I heard that, I was like, that means I'm doing something right.
Yep, I love that.
Yeah.
I love that, man. What is the future of your industry going? What's the future? What's the next thing? You know, I think we saw Ball is Life kind of started off with just content, basketball content. You see all these people hooping at the park. You see the highlight videos.
That's a whole new avenue too.
The events that you're creating as a media outlet company, being able to partner with Ball is Life.
What I think is the future, I'm not even gonna lie.
Yep.
It's what Cam Wilder's doing. You seen the Rod Wave Elite?
Okay, talk to me.
I mean,
But like little social media all-star teams playing against each other.
yeah, I thought it was gimmicky until I was actually at one. It's fire.
Yeah.
Cause they really was competing.
It's like the pickup game. It's
literally like top player all-star teams. Like,
Yeah.
But I think that it should be regulated in a way, and I wouldn't doubt that these shoe companies ain't paying attention to that. I mean, you've seen like in one summer, bruh ended up with an OTE team. Like, Rod Wave Elite RWE was an OTE team.
Yeah,
like,
that's true.
They really.
Somebody just reached out to me about a player I'm associated with. Gunna's put a team together, and wanted him and was going to fly him out to OT for the music video and for him to play in the tournament. And
I see a future in that. I think they should regulate it. I think that, in August, like, they should just put together like one big, tournament or event where, they feature, the highest quality players that they can attain and make like one big tournament out of it. Have real refs, have it really like done. Like, cause I thought it was a joke. Then I watched it. I'm like, no, this is fire. It's lit. Like, it's really lit.
It's really
and they really be competing out there. They really trying to like kill each other on the court, which is what makes it good. Cause it's just like, this is iron sharpens iron environment. It ain't for everybody. Like, every 5-star, 4-star kid ain't built to go play in them kind of environments. Them environments is tough. Like, you might be really good in a structural setting, but when you got to get out there on the island and it's crowded, it's loud, you can't hear nothing on the court, and it's you and this man, and you got to, like, get by him to score, that's when you get to really see, like, I feel like those kind of things can capture the essence on what basketball was really brought up. It's kind of like street ball, like how the Parks events are going, but now you're adding in like higher entities with the backing to provide for it. So I think that if they do that, it will be fire.
Put a little core prep team together for my
you don't need to do that.
25s and 26s, man.
You don't need to do that.
Why not, man? It's loaded. I got loaded class, man.
You do got some good classes.
25 and 26, man.
You do got some good classes.
Yeah.
But also,
26, 27. There you go. Yeah.
But also, I do think that like it just needs some structure. That's all. Because some of these tournaments they go to, and I think that RWE's been doing a better job as far as all of that goes. Because when I know their lead videographer, he does a great job with capturing the moments and everything like that. Another program that has been doing something dope is this cat I know named Jordan Lewis. His team is called Drifty Elite. Some of your kids done played with him. I think it was Mozzie, DeMarco. They played with them one time. It was dope. Like, they coming out here really competing. But I think that those formatted teams like Gunna's team, the OT7, RWE, Drifty, they need to be all under one roof and just playing, because you got all these outside people trying to play them for clout, and it's just like, nah, man, we need to keep the main thing with that kind of ecosystem.
Yeah,
And
stop giving away free information. Anyways, man, we're gonna move to the next
I mean,
segment.
I already told one of them. I already told all of them this.
You should start the
goes.
governing body for that. So listen. All right. Anyways, I digress. Let's move on. So the next segment, man, we my Rushmore. Okay. So we talked about your favorite hoop movie. Let's go. Your top 4 hoop movies of all time.
Okay. I go with Space Jam, Glory Road. I'm gonna go with I know.
Why Glory Road? I want a why on those.
Okay, Space Jam.
I already know Space Jam. Yeah.
Space Jam. Glory Road was important because, for one, it was a great story about, you know, Don Haskins and the Texas Western Miners, who won a national championship, and they were the first ever five-man starting lineup of all black players. Yeah. First time it ever happened. I don't remember what year it was. I think it was in the 60s, and they beat Kentucky. Yeah. So, you know, Pat Riley was playing, you know.
Yeah, Rupp was there
Coach
as the
Rupp.
coach, and he didn't have any black kids on his team.
He didn't have no black kids on his team.
That following year was the first year he recruited.
And it was the first year he did it because, and then there was a significant moment in there, and they were like, they said, you acting like the black players is going to change the league. I mean, change the face of basketball. And I was like, wow, there's a lot of foreshadowing of things.
Yes.
And so I think that every young African-American basketball player should watch that movie because it's like, yo, dog, like, dudes was getting beat up in the bathroom, so your little ass can go play in AAU tournaments every weekend.
Yeah, man.
So take this joint serious because it was dudes really had to fight for their lives going through real racial injustices just because they wanted to play basketball.
Yeah.
Like,
that's good.
That's something to think about.
All right, number 3.
He got game. He got game. It's not so much the basketball in that movie, it's more so the surroundings and how big of a deal it all is as far as, you know, how your family is going to react towards you, how your girl is going to react towards you, how your friends are going to react, your coach, everything, like all of it surrounding you. Because it's like we know players that are walking in those shoes, except now they got NIL deals on the table. Mm-hmm. They have agents already talking to them. All kinds of opportunities are looming and everything like that. So it's just basically about the game outside of the game. Yeah. And so I think that movie is essential. And it's a little early for this movie, but I might say Hustle.
Oh,
with Adam Sandler.
Okay, I thought you was going to say Space Jam 2 or something.
Hell no, that was Sorry.
Love you, Brian.
I hated that movie, bro. Sorry, I ain't as politically correct. That movie
you good.
Sucked,
hey, that's
man.
what we're here for. All right, so Hustle. Let's talk about Hustle, yeah.
Hustle, it's funny. So I was at the Drew League this weekend, and, you know, our commissioner, shout out Chanel Smiley, great lady over there. She talked about it, and, you know, it just shows, it's kind of like how He Got Game is in a way where it shows you the outside of it where, you know, the coach, he has to go to another country to do scouting, the inner workings of all of that kind of stuff and all of that kind of stuff. Oh, wait, I might have another movie after that.
You already said your 4, but you could have a runner-up.
Okay, I'll have a runner-up. All right, I'll have a runner-up. But with Hustle, I liked how, you know, they showed how global the game is.
Yeah.
And then they also worked in, you know, competition between an American player and a foreign player. Yeah. And like how, you know, that's a real thing. Like it's going on. Anthony Edwards, he smoked that role. Like he was born to play that role, yes. In all honesty. But realistically, he was being himself. It was excellent to see. What was his name? Hernan Gomez, right?
Hernan Gomez, yeah. Hernan Gomez.
Yeah. He did his thing as Bo Cruz. Yeah. You know, Adam Sandler in a more serious role. It's different seeing him.
He's still funny, though.
He's still funny, like, you know what I mean? But, like, he be smoking some of them little serious roles like that, Uncut Gems. He was doing his thing. Yeah. But it was just cool to see how, you know, they worked that side, the front office portion of it as well.
Yeah. All right, who's your runner-up?
Air. with Michael Jordan. And
You know what's
Sonny
crazy?
Vaccaro.
I have not seen it yet.
Whoa.
I'm
Ben
mad at myself.
Affleck and Matt Damon, they made a great movie. And what made it so great, they don't even show Michael Jordan.
Right.
They treat him like he's this mythical being and everything like that.
Don't tell me
that
the
made
movie. Don't
it
tell me.
cool.
See, I haven't seen. Don't tell me the movie.
Okay.
I need to
But
watch it.
It
It's
just
my
shows
fault.
you. It just shows you.
This makes me want to watch.
The
Thank
deal.
you. That's what this is for. So you can highlight something I need to go see. So.
Yeah, man. It just shows you.
You know what it is?
they
My
work
wife
the
wants to
deal out.
watch all these TV shows, Love is Blind and all this, and I can't get my own TV time
Mine
in to
too,
watch
but I go
Aaron.
in the other room and watch something else.
Yeah, I like watching TV with my wife.
I do too sometimes. It depends.
Netflix and chill.
I'm
dog.
gonna get
Netflix
my
and
wife.
chill.
Yo, man, relax.
Hey, I'm married. Hey, it is what it is.
I'm married too, but chill, man. But I'm gonna give my wife some credit. She do be picking some good shows sometimes. She do.
All right, so my 4. My number 1. Not in any order.
Okay.
Not in any order. Sunset Park.
That's a really good movie.
Man,
It's hard to condense it to 4, but if like, you know what I mean?
It's nostalgic for me.
Right. You grew up in that era. Like,
yeah,
I get it.
Yeah, just I was wearing the shirt with one cut off sleeve.
Right.
Shorty Doo-Wop and all his antics. And man, Terrence Howard in that movie was hilarious, dog. Spaceman.
My boy Fredro Starr staying hard in his
Yeah.
yellow goose.
Yep.
I remember.
The shout out from Drake. That movie's just it's funny, man. It's just funny. It's like I think it's an overall good hoop movie.
Good drama.
Drano with the jump shot, like just the different characters, man. They did a great job with the
A lot
characters.
of personality.
Number 2, I'm gonna have to go Above the Rim.
That's fire
It's the
too.
only movie where a man passes it to himself on the fast break and dunks.
That was hilarious.
Number 52.
No, what about my man Shep?
Rebound,
What
pass
about
it,
my man?
catch it,
What about my
dunk.
man Shep coming to the game with corduroy jeans on, and he dropped 40, dog? What about that?
3 of the shots were the same shot from different angles,
God.
dog.
They was smart though. They had to work on a budget. Like I get it. I love Above the Rim. It's really hard to make like just a Rushmore, but like Above the Rim, I ain't mad at nobody putting Above the Rim in they Rushmore. And plus, if you watch it, it's one of the movies with a lot of basketball in it.
Yes.
And that's important to me when you watch the movie.
Training, playing nutso on the roof. Like it was like some moments that
like,
we could all connect to in the hoop game.
Exactly.
And then him.
They had him in his high school.
Yeah,
they had him on
North
the
Carolina
street.
watching Montrose giving him buckets. Like
God.
just it was like you got
No,
to
that
live
was
the high-
Georgetown.
My bad, Georgetown.
Georgetown.
But Montrose went
And they
to
had
North
Pee
Carolina.
Wee Kirkland as the
Pee-wee, yeah.
recruiter. That was tough.
Yeah, man. So, White Man Can't Jump.
Classic.
Yeah, man. I think just the.
I don't
the
love that
comedy-
movie, but I know what it did.
Man,
I know what it did.
I love it, man, because I can relate to Woody Harrelson because people didn't expect me to be a hooper.
Right.
You know, I'm not white, but I'm light skinned, and people judge light skin. Back in the day, it's
Y'all in the style then,
and
huh?
I was 100% like when I'm on the court, I'm a dog, and so. I just relate to Woody Harrelson, and it was just I love the comedy in it, and just this nostalgic as well.
Right.
Last is Love and Basketball for me. Got to bring it
movie.
home. My
Terrible
wife
movie.
thinks so too. That's funny.
Terrible
Ashley
movie.
thinks so too. So Love and Basketball is a great
I have
movie.
nothing good to say about Love and Basketball except Woody dunked on her.
That is wild. Oh my God. Okay.
That's it, man.
Hey, it don't matter. She still won, even though he dunked on her. So, anyways.
She did win. She got what she wanted. She was selfish,
and
though.
it's the first time that they
It captures LA in a way.
No, they got the wife and girlfriends of basketball players. They call them wags, right? So wife and girlfriends, like that's what the industry calls the spouses or significant others of NBA players. He was the first one who wasn't. He was a husband or a boyfriend. He was a husband and boyfriend of a WNBA player sitting on the sideline with his child being house dad.
Does he count as that? Because he did play. Like, he was a journeyman in the league.
But
like,
he retired. He was done because his knee, and he's literally sitting courtside while his wife's in the WNBA. That
That's
man is the
supposed to
first
be-
hag.
that's
And
supposed-
I'm proud of him. I'm proud
was
of him.
that supposed to be... Okay, wait. What year did that come out? It was
2001.
Okay, so the WNBA had been...
It was the first year. It was the
Oh,
first
so
year
it was supposed to
WNBA, so
represent
it
the
kind of
first year
introduced the
of the-
sparks. Or a couple, they've probably been there for a couple years. WNBA started in '96.
That's what I wanted to know. Was it
a few
like...
years. Yeah.
Because I know they had like, first quarter, second quarter, third quarter,
Yeah.
present, like whatever.
amazing.
She was working at a bank and it ended up at the WNBA. That's hilarious.
Well, she was nice. I'm saying that's
She was
what she
nice.
wanted. As a hooper,
But she
that's what
wasn't
wanted.
retired like that long. She came home.
Right.
Oh yeah, it was like she came home from overseas,
Yep.
Started working there because,
He
it's
dunked
off season.
and then he
Okay,
dunked
that
on
makes
her,
sense.
and then she was in the WNBA.
Yeah, he really boomed on her, man.
That man's
And
crazy.
she wanted to say, I'll play you for it, knowing he had his knee messed up and everything. That was foul.
Oh my God!
I hate that
Y'all who hate loving basketball,
God.
y'all need love in your heart.
I
All right,
have
the
love in my heart. I just don't have no love for that movie.
All right, fix the net. All right, so this is a part. You switch the ball, the net gets caught up in the rim. We need you to fix that misconception about AC that you want to set the record straight about.
I've heard that I wasn't approachable, and I was confused. I was like, I talk to everybody. Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
One person that's gonna walk in the gym and know quite a few people in the gym is gonna be me. So I was like, how did that come from? But I don't know. Maybe it's sometimes they hear me talk, or like I won't talk to certain people. It's just like, yo, dog, I may not know you like that. So it's like I'm not gonna, be as anxious to speak with you like that. But once I know you cool and everything like that, then, I'm more likely to, have more dialogue and everything. Cause hell, I didn't really know you at first. And I was like, I don't know this dude. Like, who what does he do? Like, and then a couple people was like, nah, Tyler good. I was like, all right, bet. Long as specific people vouch for folks, then I'm like, all right, he solid with me. Like, I ain't got no problem with that. So
That's why people think you're unapproachable. I'm
possibly.
gonna tell you why, because you just said you need somebody to validate somebody to talk to you. So I'm not saying it's wrong. I understand where you're coming from because there's a lot of people in this industry who come at you from different angles, but maybe that's why they say you're unapproachable.
Possibly.
Yep. Hey, thank you for making it straight. And actually, AC is a very approachable person, meaning if you do and chop it up with
Especially
him,
his business.
especially
Especially
just,
business.
or just basketball. You like to
even
talk
hoop.
hoop.
Like,
You know what
we
I'm
just
saying? And
talking
so
hoop.
I think if you connect with people on a certain level, you got to
Right.
find what they like. I don't go in to a nail shop talking about hoop. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why I said nail shop. That's a weird place to talk. I don't go into a different area talking about hoop to connect with people. I don't even go to the nail shop. But Korean's over there rolling. But I don't go to a random place just not talk about. I connect with people in a certain place. So
Right.
you're going to find AC in a gym near you.
Right.
Talk about hoop and engage with him. He's a great dude with great experience and a lot of information. And so I just want y'all to know that he's a great dude.
Right.
All right, we flipped the script. 2 questions for me. Could be about anything in the world.
All right. I want to make sure there ain't questions that you've been asked.
I'll tell you and tell you to pick something else. Go ahead.
If you could do a documentary on 3 players, 3 sort of forgotten players that were good, but you don't feel they got the flowers they deserve, who would they be?
This is like all-time NBA or kids I know?
It could be, I would say, bigger name college
Okay.
NBA. Like, they could have been a big name college guy and didn't work out in the NBA, or they could have been an NBA player who was good but didn't really get the flowers he deserved, or, you know what I'm saying? Just somebody. Okay,
Gotcha.
we'll
No, gotcha.
reformat this. 3 players, 3 big name players who you feel didn't get the flowers they deserved, and you would like to do a doc basically telling their story.
Jay Williams.
From Duke?
From Duke. Yep, Jay Williams,
That's very true. Like, I don't think a lot of people
They know, but they don't because he's a broadcaster now. He's
Right.
turned his career into something else very successful.
pivoted
So
very
people,
well.
like, I don't think the youth understand Jay Williams was the next great point guard in our league. Rookie of the year, a motorcycle accident, and ended his career. You know what I mean? And the story about that, you know what I mean? That full story of what he did just through high school, Duke, his first year in the NBA, and like, man, boy, it was cold. So Jay Williams. I think another person that I would do a documentary on would be Jabari Parker. 4 straight state championships, offensive weapon.
He was so good.
Highly touted.
He's
and
still good,
injuries.
but
yeah, he just did his first years overseas.
Watching him in high school, you just knew it was like
next Carmelo Anthony, all that kind of
Yes.
stuff. Like he was ridiculous, and his journey I think is good to follow, and how injuries and mental health are so important. And he keeps fighting. Like, he's overseas right now. It's his first year overseas, and
that show whether you love the
game.
game for real or not.
There you
Like,
go.
dudes in the G League too, it's like how much you love basketball, you gotta go live in Fort
Yeah.
Wayne. You
Yeah.
gotta go live in, you know what I mean, in Omaha or somewhere like that. You know what I mean? You're used to not to let me not say Omaha. Like, let's say like I don't know, one of those smaller cities or anything. 'Cause I
Yeah.
don't want to disrespect Omaha or nothing like that. But like when you in the middle of nowhere and you from a big commercial city,
Yeah.
how much do you love basketball knowing that your gym gonna be empty almost
Yeah.
every other day? Like
Absolutely.
how much do you really care and want to be great and really make it out type?
Yep. Yep. And then lastly, Michael Beasley. Probably one of the
I
best.
think he got flowers though.
You think so?
I think Michael Beasley got flowers. I
He
think
should-
Jay
I mean,
Williams was your best one.
His talent says he should be one of the best NBA players of all time, but he's been overseas for the last 8. Why? And so I
He ain't
think
been
that's
8 years.
overseas in China. Yeah.
He ain't been 8 years. It's been like 4. He was with the Lakers in like 2020, wasn't he?
No. No.
It's been 8 years.
We can look it up. We can Google it.
I'm gonna Google this real quick. 'Cause I know
Yeah.
Michael Beasley was in the NBA like
Google it.
more recent than that.
Nah, man. He's been over there for a minute. He's
Look.
the man
I
over
wanna
there.
know. Yeah, he was in the league in 2019. That's almost 8 years though. But
Okay.
2019, that's a while.
Nevertheless,
Nonetheless, that's a long time.
yes. And I think just
He's only
he's discussed this on like podcasts and stuff, just his mental health journey as well.
Right.
And I think that's the important stuff to highlight is how a talent like that isn't operating at the highest level and the things that he's gone through. So my thing, documentary should show you a lesson. So this next generation is aware if they're going through the same thing and how to overcome the things that the other players didn't. But that's a great
You know who I
question.
might substitute from Michael Beasley? I know this is your list, but you know I might. Mike James. Dude from
Yeah.
Portland. He was a journeyman NBA all-time leader in EuroLeague. Like, he should get a lot more love, in all honesty,
Yeah.
as far as that goes.
No, that's a
But,
good one.
I mean, that's a good 3. You said Jay Williams. Who was the second one again?
Jabari Parker.
Jabari Parker and Michael Beasley. Killers.
Yeah.
Those was
Yep.
killers.
Next question.
Second question. I feel like you've been asked that question, but let me see. Oh, I got a competitive basketball question for you.
Oh boy.
Would you rather hit the game winner on the road or the game winner at home?
On the road. That's an easy answer
the
for
road.
me. I'm a villain, man. Like,
Me
nah,
too.
I want all that smoke.
Jump on they.
I'm talking
jump on
smack
they board,
to everybody.
hold your jersey up.
I'm
cuss them out, all
I'm
that.
doing the quiet,
All
all
that.
that, because I get to celebrate with my team.
All right, Ty.
And, yeah, man. Like,
had to
and
make sure.
I want in the game of basketball. Listen, off the court. I just talked about this. Maybe it was on our episode with JD. Is that, man? When I'm off the court, man, I'm about love God, love people. I want everybody to do well. I want everybody to be the best. On the court, I don't care who
I
you
hate
are.
all of you.
I mean, I dunk on my daughter, dog. I
There
don't
it
care
is.
about none of that.
I hate
You in
all of
between this
y'all.
rectangle.
Yes.
I want to take your heart.
There it is.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I think that's what makes me
I don't
different
think
on the
there's
court.
enough players nowadays that's like that when I
Yeah.
watch high school basketball.
Yeah.
I don't think there's enough people who genuinely dislike the other dudes that they playing against. And
And
I
that
think that
rectangle?
makes basketball better.
Yep. You can see
Like-
it. You see it in the girls' game right now. They
They
going
don't
at
like people. It's like, no, I ain't rocking with you. Like, no, this ain't no tranquility. Like, no, I wanna end you. I don't want you
Yeah.
playing no more. Get out of here. Get the hell out of here. Like,
Yep.
we need more of that because too many of these dudes want to be cool with each other. You know, all of that. No.
No, I'm
It's
going.
better for the sport when you're competitive and there are like rivalries, real rivalries where like they can really start punching on each other.
Yep.
That shows that you really care. Like, you know what I mean? So
Yeah, absolutely. All right, you got a 24-second shot clock. Speak to the people, let them know where they can find you on social media and any message that you have for them.
at Beach City Hoops on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I think I got Patreon too. I don't use it, but I just need the domain. But yeah, at Beach City Hoops, follow the page. Just want to thank Coach Todd, Elevate Your Game, EYG. Appreciate you guys finally having me on board. It's
Yes,
been
sir.
fun.
Yeah, man. No, it was a pleasure having you, brother. And man, we're gonna stay connected.